Welcome to the YTPodcast. We're now on episode 4, and my guest today is Liam Palmer, the starter of Diet Starts Money Running Club. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. My first podcast, so we'll see how we get on.
I can't believe that. I feel flattered. I feel massive now. So your first ever one.
Yeah.
You've never got invited before to on a podcast?
There's a lot of football-based ones that probably it's best to spare your opinion sometimes, just because someone's always got an opposite opinion. So I tend to just keep that to myself. And with the running stuff, it's something that's new to me as well. So when you invited me on, I thought, why not give it a try?
We're absolutely flattered. Normally at this stage we do an introduction and tell them about all the achievements, but we haven't got 2 hours to go through all the achievements. But just to put this into perspective for our listeners, you've made 434 appearances for Sheffield Wednesday, which ranks at number 10. Is that right?
No, I've crept up last few weeks, so I think I'm level with the 8th now. So there's only 7 people in front of me. Obviously, one more game to go. So if I manage to play on Saturday, I'll be outright number 8. Yeah. So.
That's incredible. I'm going to sack our research team, which is me. So I'll see you in a bit.
You can't trust everything you read on the internet.
Yeah, so I was saying to Liam before as well that I went on 3 different sites and got 3 different appearances, so I needed to ask the question, but I wanted it to be like I knew all the facts. But 8 appearances for Scotland.
Yeah, 8 appearances, and I've not played for Scotland for a few years now, but fingers crossed, we've got Euros coming up and there's a bit of debate around certain positions. So, I think anything like with Scotland and stuff, you just got to play well for your club, and that's something that I try to do every game. So, see what else. There might be more, they might not. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did speak to a few fans, and they call you Mr. Consistent. Would you say that was?
I think it's not a bad title to have. It's something that I do pride myself on, not just with football, but with everything really in kind of my life as well. So I think just being available and for training first and foremost every day, and give yourself the best chance. You're not going to get picked if you're not fit. You're not pulling your weight. So just try and stay consistent in what I'm doing on and off the pitch.
Fantastic. So we will move on from the football, but I know a lot of people ask me questions and say keep them running related, but I am quite curious as well because I played for Worksop Boys Club in Worksop. Where did the journey start for you?
So for me, I never played for a Worksop team. I played 1 year grassroots football, and that was with the Young Owls in Sheffield. So in the summer, Mum and Dad working sent me to a holiday camp in Worksop, and there was a scout there that invited me after watching me over that week to go and train for the Young Owls, and then just from there really, because I was over that way, and he took probably 4 or 5 of us from that group over to the academy, and then just been there ever since. So
fantastic. So what would you say, and it is the last question, your greatest achievement is, let's start with your greatest achievement from a football point of view, and then let's talk about your greatest goal, and then we're going to move on.
So greatest achievement to date, it's hard to pinpoint one. Just had so many, like we touched on. Just we'd be here all day if I was speaking about different things that people might not necessarily value as being good, but things like your debut and your first goal and all that's obviously amazing. But I think just walking out with my kids on Saturday and something that a lot of people might not really, they'd say promotions, they'd say winning certain games against rivals and stuff, but for me personally, them to see kind of, and they're at an age now where they're old enough to understand that what Daddy does, it's like a really nice feeling for me, and obviously Mum and Dad in the stand and Beth at the side taking videos, my wife, so that's something really personal to me that I really enjoy doing.
And I did see that, and the kids were loving it with the crowd as well, weren't
they were loving it, especially my eldest. He's probably done it 9 times now, so he's a bit of a vet when it comes to the lap of appreciation, and obviously it makes it better when you've got a good result as well. Yeah,
fantastic result. So greatest goal then, and we are moving on.
So greatest goal, it's going to have to be last year when we played Peterborough in the playoff semi-final, second leg, and I was lucky enough to score the 4th equalising goal. So still get people coming up to me now and saying it's the best kind of moment of their life as well, which is like crazy because just everything that followed after, and we went on to get promotion, so that's the most important and best goal I've scored.
I think I saw that goal as well. Does it mean so much more to you because you've gone through the academy and, you know, because it were a really tense game, weren't it? And it could have gone either way and you just come in and scored.
Yeah.
And to clench that promotion.
Yeah, last minute, I think, found myself in the box. And I think throughout my time as a player, you kind of want your moment, that kind of moment that leaves, you know, a bit of a legacy in kind of when you've done and when I'm retired. And obviously we're going to move on to the running stuff in a moment, but similarly with the local area and stuff, you want to be remembered for doing good things and being a good person. So yeah, I think it was a really nice moment.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So, Diet starts Monday running club. Sorry.
Yeah, bit of a mouthful.
It is a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Like,
and we run on a Wednesday, so yeah. No, I think it was kind of born out of just certain, kind of an idea that I had in my mind, and then I'm not one to kind of sit and procrastinate. I just like to get things moving. It took me a week to quickly do a logo, speak to Howard, obviously at 365 next door, and like-minded people like yourself, and spoke to my mate Dan, who was training for Manchester Marathon at the time, which he didn't end up doing through injury, but yeah, and obviously I'm training for Edinburgh Marathon, my first one, so it was something, and kind of, shall we do it, shall we set something up, we might get 2 people, we might get no one, and yeah, it's gone really well up to now.
Yeah, I did speak to Dan, and you were I told my wife this story. I goes, God, it reminds me so much of me. You know, when I've got this idea, it just burns away at me till I do it. And he said, oh, you got this idea, and he couldn't let it go, so he wanted to set it up, and he did it all in a week. And it's obvious that you've got a passion for it as well, and that comes across with the running, and also you've got passion for working with the community as well, Worksop as well, and Retford and the surrounding areas. Yeah,
I think I've been quite lucky throughout my footballing career that I've not moved club, which has allowed me to have strong ties off the pitch, and obviously born in Worksop, being from this area, it's always gets a bit of a bad rep for certain things, and I think it's easy for me with kind of my reputation that I can do good things and shine a good light on the town. And fitness and kind of running, not so much running, but being active is something that I've always done. So yeah, I thought, you know, why not start a running club for all abilities, and it's been nice to see that that's come through now. We had obviously just under 40 people, I think, last week, so a real good turnout, and that gives me a real sense of community, and yeah, it's good when people stay behind after and, you know, have a coffee and stuff, and you can actually get a chance to speak to people. Obviously, when we first started, it was pitch black, so yeah. I don't think I see what you look like for the first 4 weeks, mate. But
yeah, you was in for a massive shock when it got live. Somebody said that as well to me. I thought, oh, cheers.
No, but I think it just showed the kind of, I talk about like-minded people, and you know, it's not easy setting your alarm for kind of 5:05, and obviously you run down, which is, you know, testament to you and the people that you get to come down with you. But yeah, it just shows that dedication, and people talk about motivation, but it's more the discipline for me really, and you know, keeping that kind of level of discipline for yourself. Yeah,
so we start every Wednesday at 6 a.m, just so the listeners know in case they're interested in coming along. So we run a 5k, which is free. Is it 3 or 4 variants?
There's 3 different routes, yeah. So like you say, we come down here 6 o'clock. Have a little team photo, which is a bit of a tradition. We're getting a bit full now to go inside, so now the weather's a bit better, we can hopefully get some pictures outside. And then Lucy from 365 puts us through a little bit of a warm-up, which has been good, just to kind of help stretch out the legs before. And then yeah, we've got 3 different routes that we just put on a rotation really, and it's more for you know, familiarity of runners that come quite a lot, and then we get quite a lot of new people as well, so if they get stuck with someone who's already ran the route, it makes it easier, nobody gets lost.
You know, I'd still get lost. You know, I just follow people, I always have done, so I'm rubbish at directions. Lucy's really good as well, isn't she? Yeah. You know, what she's brought, you know, from her expertise in the fitness industry, I think what she does is she sets a tone from the start of getting people excited, having a bit of a laugh and joke and that, and then now we've got all drones flying around overhead. It's like a military base at the start, but it's a lot of fun.
It's been good, I think, especially when I asked Lucy to do the warm-up. She said, I'm nervous, and I said, you do it every day, you know. She said, well, in front of a group, you know, But I think just such as the group as well, they all take it in a really good manner, and everyone's, you know, tuned in, warming up, and like you say, she has a bit of a laugh with it and stuff, which at 6 o'clock you probably do need just to wake you up. And just going back to like touching on that discipline side, she's been to every run so far as well. So has Emma as well, and yourself and me. So yeah, she's a real, I'd call them OGs of the Diet Starts Monday running club. She's someone that's bought into it, and yeah, I think people like that probably, obviously I knew Lucy before, but I didn't know that she'd be that much into it as well. You know, she's carried on, obviously follow a lot of people on Strava now as well, so she's carried on her own running aside from the running club, which I think helps people as well.
Absolutely, and I would as well. So I noticed the other day that he clocked a 22-minute 5k, which is a PB.
Yeah.
So congratulations to the guy, because I think he's bought into it on the back of this as well, seeing a lot of people running. So we had 42 people there after the 10th meet-up.
Yeah.
What's the plans for the future? Because that's going to take some topping, isn't it? 42 people.
Yeah, we had a real push for that 10th week, I think, coming down, and yeah, 42 people is great to see. I think probably word of mouth, a lot of it as well. Obviously, you've got the Facebook group where people are really responsive, and again, touching on that like-mindedness, I think it's all right putting it in, because people said put it in this chat and put it in that chat, but you've got the people there that want to run, so there's no point in trying to, you know, flog a dead horse, trying to go somewhere else. So yeah, there's a lot of people that was missing as well, the regulars. Obviously, some ran the London Marathon, which I'm sure we'll touch on a bit later. But yeah, hopefully it grows and grows, you know, word of mouth and the power of social media. I don't want people to think they can't come down because it's an elite kind of run. It's more just can be used for recovery, whatever personal goal you've got. And that community aspect, mental health aspect as well, which I've not really touched on. But I think, like Andy touched on in the video, the hardest thing is just getting yourself down. I think once you do that, it becomes part of your routine. And I've had a lot of people like say, I've got FOMO, like fear of missing out on. I didn't get it, it looked really good, and you get that real feel of what's going off this week type thing. So it's been really good.
I don't know if you know this, and I actually cancelled the work trip to come to the 10th one.
Oh, really?
Because I had the FOMO. I feel like I need to be there. I think it's part of my weekly routine.
Yeah.
What's quite interesting as well, and I don't know if you're aware of the retention numbers. So people what have come and continue coming is super high, and that is so hard in any clubs. You know, because I've got associations with the Bassett Law Tribe, the Harriers, but you never really get the same people come every single week, you see, and you do with your run club, so you're offering them something different. Yeah. What do you think that is? I
don't really know, and I had noticed that. I think, especially at 6 o'clock in the morning, for people to keep coming is one thing, but I think just, again, just being with like-minded people. I know I keep touching on that, but it's a big thing for me, and keeping obviously it's difficult for you because you're here, there and everywhere doing different things, different times, but with me, I kind of wanted a steady kind of base, which Howard's obviously given me there. It's quite a central location. We've got an all right car park and things. And I think, obviously we've got Jesus that comes down and blesses us with his coffee, should we say. So that's another element that we obviously spoke about and managed to get that sorted. So, thankful to him for kind of raising the bar on that side of it. And hopefully, just touching on your last question about where I want to take the run club, it's like that's definitely that community aspect, the social aspect of it. I'd love to do a social kind of day, if you like, somewhere where people can come with their families and their kids and aside from the running, do you know what I mean, and have that kind of affiliation outside coming down on a Wednesday morning. Also, I'd like to do a lot more meets and things, but I think that's working really well at the moment. I don't want to stretch myself too much, obviously. I get paid to play football, so that's my number one focus and priority, and like you'll probably find, you can't be everywhere and doing everything, so it's it's growing organically and it's something that I'm enjoying.
Yeah, that is the thing. I mean, you do feel stretched. I mean, there's so many things I want to do with the group and where to take YTP, but you're only one man, aren't you? Like the same as me, you can't be everywhere at once. And you want it to grow organically, and I think it has. I think it was a masterclass for the coffee van. What's the company called? We'll give him a bit of a shout out.
It's Psycho Fix. So I think he's normally stationed up at the Shire Oaks Triangle, or sometimes he goes to the train station. So he fixes bikes out the back of his van, and then he's quite cleverly put a little coffee machine in there, which is the coffee's spot on. I think he brought some croissants and some brownies last week, and fair play to him, because I just put an advert out on a website and said I want a mobile coffee van, and I thought, oh, nobody will get back, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. And a message just pinged up in my email saying, give me a call, and I was a bit like, oh, he might turn up, he might not, but yeah, he's been great. He's a good character in it as well, and it's just nice now. The weather's getting nice for people to just chill after. Obviously, a lot of people have to go and get the kids to school, which I have to, but yeah, for people that have not got much on till later on in the day, it's a chance to sit and have a chat, and I think I'll have a few deck chairs out there in a few weeks.
Yeah, I can imagine it's something. It'd be right good, wouldn't it? Yeah, the guy really fits with the ethos of what we're doing as well. He's a good character. He's in a sports background as well, and I personally really like him. So there is a bit more though. There's something going off soon. You've got an event. Tell us about the event. What you've got organised.
Yep. So the kind of, again, going back to that question, I'm hoping to do a lot more events in the future. Just trying to tread carefully. I think my main kind of thing with it as well was the running club is to have a charity aspect to it as well as a community side, and I've been asked to be a patron for a charity called PACT in Sheffield, which supports families and children with cancer and leukemia. So it's a very hands-on charity, and one that's based within the Sheffield Children's Hospital, which can kind of get overshadowed with the children's charity as well there. So they are their own entity, and I think raising their kind of profile is the main kind of reason why they wanted to get me involved and tell more people about PACS. We've got a few little things in the pipeline, but yeah, the first event taking place less than 2 weeks now, Sunday, May the 12th, just so I'll plug that right now if you can come down, in Hillsborough Park. We're just going to do a 5k fun run and walk, so a real family event. Hopefully the weather's shining. We're due a little heat wave, I believe. I've just heard on the radio. So, yeah, come down, support the charity, and hopefully raise a lot of money, but also awareness for a really good cause. Yeah, absolutely. And YTP will definitely be supporting it. We're going to do a big campaign and make sure that we get as many people there as we can for it. Yeah. On the charity side, is it harder when you're working with charity and you're a family man, seeing how the illness and the diseases impact people? Is it harder to, when you're visiting them? Because I've seen some clips where you've been going to the hospitals. Yeah, we have our kind of yearly kind of hospital visits that we're stationed with different charities, and every time we go to either Bluebell Ward, Children's Hospital, we go to a few like people with sight loss and things like that, all different. And you just can't help but want to help, use your kind of profile to help raise. And all you can do ultimately is raise money and raise awareness, and especially with PACT as well, just going back to them, they're real hands-on, take food to the patients. They've got a house just up from the Children's Hospital where I think they bought it from an old doctor, where the families can just go and get a little bit of respite. I know it sounds simple, but they can have a shower, they can cook a nice meal, all whilst being close to the hospital. They don't have to rely on vending machines, they don't have to rely on accommodation and paying for hotels. So it's something that's probably things we take for granted really, as especially me with 3 healthy children, and I like I say, you just feel obliged to help when you meet the people behind the name. Yeah, it sounds like a great charity, and I really urge people to jump on top of this and let's really try and raise a lot of money for the charity. So, moving on to your personal goals. So, we know you've got a marathon, you've got booked in, but how would you consolidate your personal running goals? So, what's your targets, what do you want to achieve, and what's in the pipeline? Yeah, I think the marathon is kind of something for me, for myself, that it's in the off-season, so it gives me a few weeks to try and ramp up the training a little bit, but it also ties in with keeping me fit and ready to go back during pre-season. I think as I've got older, I see the value in keeping going. I know you don't have many rest days. It's a running joke. I'm always on to you, yeah. So, but no, I think the longer, because I've done it before where I've had 3 weeks off and then tried to build back up. I'd rather just keep that kind of level, consistent, which training for a marathon will definitely do. So I'm looking forward to it.
And what you're doing now then? So so the Edinburgh Marathon is in.
Yeah, it's the 26th of May.
So you've not got long.
Yeah.
So how many runs are you doing a week now?
So besides the obviously everyday training and the weekly 5k, try and get just one long run in if I can. I went round Rother Valley last Tuesday. Ended up doing a half marathon, which wasn't my intention.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, so just went round both lakes probably 3 or 4 times and had the earphones in, and I looked at my watch and it kind of said 14k, so I thought, I'll do another 5.
You can't not.
And it got to 90 and I was like, right, going to do an half marathon. So I'm running with my mate Sam, who came to the run club last week, and he's following quite a strategic plan that he got as part of it when he entered the Edinburgh Marathon. So I think he went out and did an 18 miler yesterday, which for me, I think my base fitness is fine. With obviously being active for so many years, and like we touched on before we started recording, I think my main priority is to obviously be right and be fresh for when I've got games coming up. I don't want to over exert myself and that be detriment to my football. So it's kind of a bit of a balancing act that I think I've got right so far. But yeah, we've got, like I say, we've got one more game and then hit the road and maybe ramp it up to maybe 2/3 runs a week.
Are you ready for a break? Because it's, for me personally, and it's completely different. I was sort of ready for when the season ended, just for a bit of break, refresh and do some different things. Do you feel ready for a break?
Football-wise, probably, yeah. It's been a long season. It's a really intense, high-pressure environment. It's a long kind of 10 months, and then we have the kind of six weeks off, and then we're back at it again for that 10 months. So I think mentally, the break from when the season finishes, having stayed up hopefully and we get the point we need on Saturday will be good. And then the running for me is just a completely different switch where I can just go and I can do it at my leisure. I know you touched about what's my goals and my times and things. I think I just do it just to enjoy it, and it's good for my mental health. It keeps me active. I don't think most people go from a really hard season, because it has been a tough season. Yeah. You guys have really had to fight it out to be in the position you're in now. Yeah. To go and do a running marathon, I think that's a bit crazy, but fair play to you. Taking the hat off to you, because marathon training, if I'm being honest, I found that harder than Ironman training, because the thing about when you're doing tries, you have it's not as much impact you see. So you're doing your swim, your bike, and then you run. And you sort of split the disciplines, whereas you're just running all the time. Yeah, it's pounding. Yeah. So yeah, fair play to that. So have you got a target in mind for a time target, or can't we pressure for one? No, yeah. Time-wise, I think when obviously I signed up, it says what's your kind of time. And at that point, I'd never ran more than 10k, so I didn't have a clue, to be fair. And having done the Retford half, I think it was 1 hour 35, something like that. I then looked and thought, well, if I get in at around 3:45, I'd be happy with that. So, not say I'm aiming for that. I just see how I feel on the day, to be honest. Edinburgh's lovely. I've been up there with Scotland before, and it's a lovely city, and there's lots of nice sights and things. Looking forward to it being a flat course, as it says online. So it's never flat. No, they're never flat, are they? So I'm just looking forward to testing myself over that distance and kind of using it as a gauge, really, to go forward. And like you say, as I get more into it, and the times might start to get a bit more competitive in my own head, and obviously, like you all know, once you get a PB, you'll want to keep trying to beat it. So I just think whatever I run it in is going to be my PB, and that's as far as kind of it goes in my mind at the moment. I think you'll have I watched you come in at Retford, and you look like you'd gone for a run, but I feel like you were holding back a little bit. Depends on how you feel on the day and stuff like that. And the marathon's a long way, but I know you get a great time. I think once you've got that base level of fitness as well, it'll keep you holding on there. But for me, it's always that 22-mile mark, where I start to question whether I want to do it. Or London especially, I even had that conversation with myself. I said, I think it was even 24 mile. I went, no, I'm not doing this anymore. Yeah. And you'll have that, but I mean, you'll know how to overcome these barriers. Yeah. So just one more question regarding YTP and the running club, and then we'll move on to some questions from our YTP members. So
we've been around since the start by accident, if you like, because I saw something on social media and I was curious as the next person to what this was all about. I wanted to, for myself as well, I do like running part as a group. But what does YTP bring to you?
Yeah, I'm really thankful when you got in touch. I think it was just a few days before our first run, and obviously we had 9 people, like I touched on earlier, but and again, I'd not heard of YTP at that point. I'd very new to the kind of running scene, if you like. So to have that help and help that you've given the running club and help driving numbers has been amazing. And obviously you've got a lot of members and a lot of people that follow what you do. And the Facebook groups, I think it's a fantastic idea. It's good to see that it's took off in the way it has done. And just being a part of that group, you can see kind of the value and it brings to a lot of people. So I think, obviously for yourself, well done from me as well, because it's definitely something that you can tell from when people message or you put things on there, the kind of community feel that it's already got on there, which is great to see. And I think it's better than just keep advertising, we're doing this. There's a real kind of fun element to it as well, where it's very engaging for people. And it's very welcoming for people of all abilities and different ages, which I think your Facebook group captures quite well. So I think that's why it's kind of worked well in terms of tying that into the running club as well. The first thing I said to Howard was I don't want it to feel like they're coming to run with me and kind of I'm going to be, as a professional athlete, running at like sub-20s every week, do you know what I mean? So I think that message has got out there now, and that's obviously been helped by the Facebook group and things.
Yeah, absolutely. And like that, it's not what it's about, you see. Everybody's got the ultimate respect for you because, most of the people know what you've done in your career. Some people don't even know, to be honest. And somebody actually asked me who started it and, asked me who you were, and I was like, and then they had that moment where, what, really? But it comes across that you're just there for them and you're putting a platform in place for everybody, and it's not about you. It is not one bit about you, and I'm the same with YTP. I don't want it to be about me, but we want to offer a platform in order for people to achieve their goals, and I think that's where YTP and your running club work really well together.
Yeah, I find it refreshing, coming down, and some days when I want to capture probably a few videos for social media, and I'll be in the middle or the back of the group and just get chatting to people that, what do you do? And for me, that's music to my ears when they ask me that, because I can just no judgment, you can just run and meet people for the first time on face value, which is a footballer, especially from the local area. You don't have many conversations like that. And I think it's been good as well we've got that even split between male and females, and I think they feel obviously that safety aspect of running alone. My wife touched on it before, she gets wolf whistles, people beeping, and just makes her feel uncomfortable. So I think what you do, and obviously the running club being a group as well, it takes that kind of thought or fear away of, I'm not going to go out today because it's dark, or I'm not going to go early in the morning because it's dark, or and they can feel obviously safe within a group environment.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you touched on that, because I got asked on the BBC radio about that, and it's almost like you don't want to tarnish all men with the same brush, but it is the reality of it, isn't it? Women do feel unsafe when they're running alone, especially when it's like dark mornings and dark nights and stuff, and it does deter them. I mean, I had the same conversation, this is how YTP started, by the way, with my wife, and you don't want to just say that all men are bad and all people are bad, but it happens so frequently that it puts women off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I think when we're all together, it's strength in numbers. I mean, you've said it on a few occasions as well, that nobody gets left behind. Yeah. So we all run together. And for the listeners what haven't tried it, what happens is there is different ability levels, but they split up into pods, and you never get left alone. And there's always somebody of a similar ability to run with you. We have a few guys what tend to be like back markers, would you say that? Yeah. And they bring everybody home, and everybody has a drink together after, and it's a really good time. So what we'll do is we'll move over to the YTP questions from the Facebook group. Yeah. But we'll have a break first. Cool. Yeah, so no it's going to be thrown out. Yeah. Is that going all right?
Perfect, mate. Yeah, spot on. Very good.